From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your Evening Update.
Everything Medical has been your complete source for medical supplies since 2007. Our 10,000 square foot showroom has the largest selection of home medical equipment in the North State. We have what you need. Everything Medical, Athens Avenue, Reading.
Oh, beautiful day on the coast. You got to see some nice clearing, just a few scattered clouds out there out at Trinidad here this afternoon. But overall, just those beautiful blue skies out there. We also got to see the same out in Crescent City. Unfortunately, the camera not updating too well right now. Let's take a look at the what's going on here. Yeah, we're going to be looking at periods of clearing on the coast, and that'll be the case over the next few days. But of course, the fog moves in overnight. And then if we're lucky enough, we can get some of that clearing here throughout the day. But sunny and hot inland with a warming trend, which will peak on Friday for those inland areas, and not to mention in Trinity County. The smoke, it's definitely been an issue. Of course, as you know, you've got the fire down in southwest Oregon, and of course, as Del Norte being so close to the fire is going to be looking at the worst when it comes to some of that smoke out there. So let's take a look at what we expect as we go overnight tonight. You can see that plume of smoke coming on down. We go to 6 a.m. tomorrow morning, and it looks like more just in the way of haze. So really not too terribly dense when we're talking about that smoke, even out into places like Crescent City, and not to mention in Del Norte County in general. As we go into Tuesday afternoon, it looks like a bit of a break, and then another little plume of smoke coming down, Tuesday evening as well. And as we go into Wednesday, let's take you into Wednesday morning. That smoke kind of pushes southward, a bit of a break, a way of that haze, if you will, and then looks like still looking at a bit of a break here by the noon hour on Wednesday. So the smoke kind of coming and going, and it really does depend on the overall activity of the fire. If you start seeing more plumes of smoke coming in the fire, then of course it just makes more sense that you're going to see some of that smoke with that north wind pushing that smoke down into the north coast region. Here's what it looks like hour by hour for tonight, and there you can see temperatures dropping down probably somewhere in the upper 50s for the inland areas and in the mid 50s for the coast. You got plenty of sunshine, minus of course some of that haze and smoke we will see for the inland areas. And for Trinity County, temperatures low 60s tonight. It's getting warm. We're getting close to 100 degrees for places like Weaverville and Hayfork, again, even Lewiston in the upper 90s for your daytime highs. So that trend is calling for temperatures just kind of hovering around that 100-degree mark for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Now, you can see we see a spike on Friday. That's the peak, and then temperatures drop back down again. So just a little mini heat wave, if you will, certainly not to the extent of what we saw with this past weekend. Here you can see as we take a look at Futurecast, there you can take you through Thursday, that main bubble of heat down to the south, but you can see it starts to kind of slowly make its way northward here, giving us that slight increase in the temperatures. But as I keep saying over and over again, as long as we have these storm systems right here, these nice cool storm systems riding to our north into Canada, that suppresses that heat. And even though it gets hot, it could get a lot hotter if we didn't have those storm systems to our north. Now, the monsoon moisture is something that we did have yesterday, and that did bring some of the thunderstorms in many of the higher elevations off to our east. Now, when we look at Futurecast, what we're seeing here is that we do have some of that fog returning as we go into tomorrow morning. Now, it looks like it's maybe having a more of a difficult time here for tomorrow. We'll call it partly and mostly cloudy. Now, you can see some clearing for some of us along the coast for your Tuesday. And then as we go into your Wednesday, there you can see it looks like more of that fog even as we go into the afternoon hours. So again, some days a little bit more lucky with that clearing, other days not so much. And take a look at the marine alerts out there. There's a small correct advisory for all of these light areas of purple right here. That is going to expire at 3 a.m. on Wednesday. And you can see the gale warning here for the coast of southern Humboldt County. That will expire at 10 o'clock tonight. So, of course, should be able to expire by tomorrow. There's a look at the wave heights as we go into tomorrow. You can see the actual wave heights are increasing a bit from what we're seeing here today, probably anywhere from 9 to upwards of 10 feet. So again, it looks like it is going to increase and get a little bit higher over the next 24 hours or so. Here's a marine forecast, taking a look at those winds for tomorrow. Northwest winds at about 5 to 15 knots. Waves from the northwest at 7 feet at 7 seconds. And there you can see that small craft advisory as I mentioned. Let's take a look at the forecast for tonight. Yeah, we're dropping down into the low 60s for Weaverville, Trinity Center, more like the 50s out in at Hayfork. There you can see tonight for the coast, looking at those temperatures dropping down into the low 50s. Let's take a look at those daytime highs, and yeah, it's getting close to 100 degrees for places like Weaverville, Hayfork. Trinity Center closer to 90, 87 degrees in Ruth. We've got mid to upper 90s for some of the warmer spots inland, and of course for the coast, looking at those temperatures, at least for the immediate coast, in the low to mid 60s. Now here's your 7-day forecast, and you can see out in Hoopa, we're in the mid 90s through Thursday. There's that spike on Friday, Saturday, but it looks like the inland areas will most likely be able to dodge that triple-digit mark as we go into Friday and this weekend. But Weaverville won't be able to dodge it. In fact, you're going to get over 100 degrees by Friday, Saturday, and kind of hovering around the upper 90s to around 100 degrees by Sunday and Monday of next week. And your 7-day forecast for Eureka, of course, partly to mostly cloudy skies over the next 7 days with highs generally between 62 and 64 degrees.